the importance of amateur bullfighters in bullfighting. Why are we aficionados of bullfighting? There was a moment in our life when we first watched a bullfighting show and something attracted our interest. So we felt the need to enjoy bullfighting shows from time to time. That's why we are aficionados. What do we like about bullfighting? Every aficionado has their legitimate preferences. Thus, some are attracted by the picturesqueness of bullfighting shows. Many are attracted by the power, the tremendous incarnation and bravery of the bulls. Many others by the ability to create art, beauty, aesthetics from the fight. Some by the intelligence, technique, and gallantry of the bullfighters, and most by a combination of these reasons. The aficionados, when watching a bullfighting event, witness the mythological confrontation between the power of God, which is the bull, versus the heroes who bring the best men's skill, courage, and intelligence. Those heroes are the professional bullfighters. The performances of the heroes seem to us superhuman. They excite us and we acclaim them when they become victorious. Aficionados prácticos, or amateur bullfighters, are distinguished from other aficionados by the need to step forward and challenge the gods. They need, they need to stop being an ordinary man to resemble the heroes. Attempting to be a hero, however, has enormous risks, and unlike bullfighters, amateur bullfighters do not enjoy fame and glory. We also do not receive financial remuneration for our performances. Our greatest reward, the day that things go well, is the pride to overcoming our fears and the instinct of preservation, being able to tame the power of nature, feeling closely the unstoppable charge of the bull, and looking in his eyes after the last pass and telling him, "Here I am." It is the most generous and altruistic approach to bullfighting that exists. From my point of view, being an amateur bullfighter has made me a better aficionado of tauromachy. It has made me understand better the technique of the bullfighter, to better understand the reaction of the bull, to check for myself the execution of some move and the complication of others, to know the importance of the thorns and querencias during the fight, to feel the responsibility and the fear, to discover the difficulty and greatness of the temple, to learn how to move in the face of the bull, etc. This learning has highlighted to me the importance of the bullfighter's word regarding the condition of the bull during the fight. It has also opened my eyes to certain postulates which are established and accepted in tauromachy that are not always true. Being aficionado práctico, amateur bullfighter, has taught me to judge the performance of the bullfighters for myself, not by what is said and judged by others who, in many cases, has always watched the fight comfortably from the sideline. And at the same time, as an aficionado práctico, I had realized many things. I had to learn, and I had noticed my great ignorance despite many books and magazines I have read about bullfighting during my whole life. Thus, I have been amazed at the ability of some professional bullfighters to draw water from dry wells. I have seen how dangerous cows return to charge straight at the cloth after a couple of rounds of muletazos wisely administered by real doctors in tauromachy. I have been delighted listening to mayorales and vaqueros talking about their daily tasks with the livestock. I have admired the complexity of the encompasses and cattle families that the breeders had to face in their selective work. I have enjoyed the anecdote and experience of famous bullfighters of now and of yesteryear. And being an amateur bullfighter has enabled me to attend many tientas and and, and meet bullfighting bulls in their environment and meet its people. It is a privilege that many aficionados have not been able to enjoy, although in recent times many aficionados have joined the group of aficionados practicos. Although there is now quite a lot of aficionados practicos clubs, since bullfighting started centuries ago, there have been always been aficionados practicos, and personalities from other disciplines have also felt the attraction of trying to bullfight. The first was perhaps King Carlos I of Spain and V of Germany, who fought a bull for the birth. Francisco de Goya, the magnificent painter, also fought bulls in his youth. And in the 20th century, the famous actor Cantinflas, the writer Nobel Prize winner Camilo José Cela, Camarón de la Isla, one of the best ever flamenco singers, and the former president of Spain, Adolfo Suárez, fought bulls frequently. Other celebrities tried at least once, such as the actor Gary Cooper, the actress Ava Gardner, or the Nobel laureate Ernest Hemingway. The desire of those who fight, thus putting their physical integrity and their successful careers at risk for experiencing the incomparable sensation of facing the bull, is worthy of admiration. However, I had tremendous admiration for the maletillas, with such an excessive passion that they do not miss any single opportunity to bullfight and train daily with the same constancy and determination as the professional bullfighters. This is the case of Conrad Abad, El Eterno Maletilla, the Everlasting Maletilla, whom I had the good fortune to meet in Salamanca years ago. Conrado fought bulls at 84 years of age, despite having received two serious gourings 2 years before. In Cádiz, I heard the adventure of Cantito, who at the age of 70 walked along the roads from one run to another looking for tientas, with the hope of making a few muletazos to the cows after the professional bullfighter performances. And I have to mention the former student at the Bullfighting School of Malaga, where I was co-director, Manuel Rodriguez. His name has predestinated him to try to be a bullfighter. Like most, despite having some notable skills, things did not go well enough, and his career as a novillero was short. Today, he works as a vehicle salesman and chauffeur, but is only an excuse to enable him to afford his travels throughout Spain, taking part in capeas, jeopardizing his life for free in front of a 2, 5, or 6-year-old bulls. They are examples of life dedicated to a passion, irrational behaviors to our current self-complacent society, but admirable for those of us who detest monotony and routine and love bulls. Not only do I admire them, but also I understand them. I understand the imperative need for bullfighting. Try to figure out where the next tienta or capea is going to be held. I understand the feeling of a big pressure in the chest, that introspection rising when approaching the farm or the village where the release of bullfighting cattle is going to be held. I understand the weight, their weight of looking and gesture after the bull bursts out of the ring. I understand why they show temerity sometimes and occasion others. I understand the tension when approaching a dangerous bull and the realization at arrogance when approaching a noble bull. I feel their concentration and enjoyment in front of a brave and repetitive cow, and I feel the responsibility and discouragement when they have to face again a complicated one which has repeatedly tossed them into the air. And I understand, above all else, the satisfaction when they manage to reach the chart of the bull as far as their arm can reach, with the loins of the bull rubbing their sides. You cannot imagine the joy of leading the rush of such a powerful animal. The euphoria that the aficionado práctico amateur bullfighter feels after a good pass fills him with ecstasy. Is an indescribable experience. One feels like the king of the world. Any discretion once tried to make will come up short. This sensation is addictive. It is the main motivation of the amateur bullfighter, who, after being hit and touched many times, suffering multiple injuries, and perhaps being gored, occasionally manage to fight adequately a cow of a calf, which makes it possible to develop the technique and personal style. Bullfighting is a drug that generates the need to continue bullfighting, and when the aficionado práctico does not bullfight, he experiences withdrawal symptoms, and that can be only cured by bullfighting. At this time, I'm remembering my emotions fighting that brave cow in Fuente Imbro, another one of infinitive nobility in Martelilla, the bold one in Núñez del Cubillo, the fearless one in Cebada Gago, a 5-year-old serious cow in El Viso de los Pedroches, a calf or half bullfighting breeding in Chicana, the one with very sharp horns of Escobar, and that brief round of muletazos in, in 2010 with a calf in La Malagueta, burring of Malaga, my city. Although my bones also hurt me, as I remember the first time I was tossed in a village of Toledo, or the calf in a ranch in Badajoz that broke my knee, the complicated cow in Morón de la Frontera, the strong cow that shredded my trousers in El Viso de los Pedroches, and many other cattle, most of which I could not cope with, and to which I could not give a pass due to my lack of knowledge and technique. However, over time, these injuries are proud trophies for the aficionados prácticos, just as the Gordons are medals for professional bullfighters. And our desire to enjoy again the pleasure of bullfighting is so great that we are willing to be tossed into the air again, only for a second of emotion, for the ephemeral sensation of an eternal muletazo. What a fortunate madness is bullfighting! Balancing the pros and cons, despite my injured knee, I do not regret an instant of being an amateur bullfighter. Of course, I would have liked to have been a professional bullfighter, as all the fans of other artistic and sporting disciplines would have liked to stand out in their hobbies. However, from my experience in the training of bullfighting professionals, in some cases high expectations are created, and those prospects are very difficult to achieve in a world so complex as the bullfighting business. So it is easy to become frustrated. On the other side, the aficionados prácticos fight without further aspiration to improve our technique. We wish only to enjoy from time to time a pass, a nice round of passes, a morning in the countryside among friends, to walk through the meadow contemplating the bulls. To anyone who feels capable, I encourage you to try, to fight once, even those who do not like bullfighting, because the fight of a bull or a cow will make you understand and better know the meaning of bullfighting. Years ago, when I was at university, there was a German student who was against bullfighting. My friends and I took him to a private capella, private bullfighting event. Finally, he decided to try bullfighting, and he was tossed twice. But afterwards, he told us that he had changed his mind, and he understood the attractiveness and nobility of bullfighting. Even if he had not changed his mind, after that attempt, he was in a better position to criticize it. But nowadays, bullfighting is criticized by many who barely know anything about it, based on a sense of moral of superiority. Those who want to impose their single thought, those who, in fact, do not care about the bullfighting bull as a breed. They do not understand how bullfighters, professional and amateurs, are totally respectful of the bull and how we love it. They do not realize that the breeding of bull for bullfighting takes place on extensive ranches where the cattle are bred in semi-free areas, which are a sanctuary for many wild species, some of them in risk of extinction. The aficionados prácticos, amateur bullfighters, acquire for ourselves all this knowledge by putting ourselves in the professional bullfighters' shoes and assiduously visiting the ranches where bullfighting bulls are bred. That is the importance of aficionado prácticos. Due to this first-hand knowledge, many amateur bullfighters have become excellent ambassadors of bullfighting, proud of their passion in life. Passion is our main value and virtue. We are fearless in our daily life. We are brave in front of the bull. We spread the nobility of bullfighting. Bullfighting needs more ambassadors. Bullfighting needs more aficionados prácticos, amateur bullfighters, proud of our passion in life, because at heart, all of us feel like and we are toreros.